I think it's fair for Daryl to have his hearing with his local district, and not us to sort of preside over anything that the district should take care of. I think it'd be very appropriate for him to have that case there, and quite frankly, if the maker of the that filed the grievance wasn't accurate in what he did, I think it's very fair to turn it back to the district and let the district take care of local business. We're a party from the bottom up, not from the top down, and I think this would be right in line with that, giving the district the opportunity to take care of business at its grassroots level.
Thank you very much for those remarks. And we have another gentleman here rising to speak, Mr. Peter Goldman.
Whatever the rules are, the respondent has gone out of his way to come here. It's his reputation online. Whether you speak or not should be your choice right now. And in all fairness, in our system of justice, to give you the opportunity, if you want it, I'm willing to let you speak or not speak, as you choose, regardless of the rules right now. Yes, I would suspend the rules. He's here, and would it hurt?
Yes, Mr. Goldman still has the floor.
It does not change sending it back to the district. It just gives him an opportunity to speak now, if he chooses.
Thank you for those remarks. I assume that was urging a yes vote on the motion.
It's urging people to vote their conscience right now.
Yes, very well, very well. Thank you. Anyone else that has a comment speaking to the motion?
I just want to clarify, we're not voting this.
Ralph Seekins, Bruce Schulte will follow you. Mr. Seekins, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chairman. I don't have any problem with someone talking about to defend their own reputation. However, you know, in terms of that, this is a serious charge that we're referring back now to the district, and if he is allowed to in effect give testimony on the record without rebuttal, I'm not sure that would be the procedure that we should follow. I mean, I'm not saying that he would lie or anything else, except to give then someone who we're referring a charge back to the district the opportunity on the record to provide testimony without any rebuttal or self-rebuttal. I think we're going outside of the procedure that we're just now trying to refer to the district, and I understand that if it's understood that this is his allegation, but not that this is tantamount to testimony that would go on the record unchallenged without the opportunity for any cross-examination or rebuttal, I have a problem, unless it's strictly understood that this is his opinion at this point.
I think Bruce was.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I was just wondering if you were standing to speak later. I'll put you on the list. Okay. Thank you for those remarks. The floor goes to Mr. Bruce Schulte.
I just want to clarify that the motion that I seconded was very strict and narrow, which was to allow the gentleman to speak briefly on his own behalf. It was not a motion to suspend the rules.
I understand that, and I think everyone else does also. This is not a motion to suspend the rules. It's simply a motion to allow the gentleman to speak for 3 minutes. And we have Alice.
And the point of the motion was because Frank has had his say on the record without rebuttal from, you know, the accused. Okay, so I think it's fair to have 3 minutes of the accused to be able to say at least some response. No, this isn't, you know, part of the process that we had originally put, but I think it's more than fair considering there's been plenty of things on the record about him to where he's had no opportunity to respond on the same platform. And that's the reason for the motion, and I think it's fair, and it's also part of the matters that we have decided to deal with today, so I don't think that it's out of order or you would have to suspend the rules. So that's my opinion.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I see.
I'm just trying to keep
what we have here is standing in the room a gentleman who has spoken on this matter. Is there anyone else who has not yet spoken for the very first time that would like to speak before we go back to Mr. Steve Straight? Anyone else? And Mr. McQuarrie, I believe it has opportunity. The floor is yours, Mr. McQuarrie.
As the outgoing rules chair, I would encourage us to try to stay to the rules. I have no objection if we recess now and listen to Mr. Lanzon. I've enjoyed many conversations with Darrell, and we find that we have many things that we actually agree on. You know, in the excess of desire to be fair, making us stray from the rules sort of undermines every effort we've made thus far to try to follow the rules. And to tell you the truth, I'm getting confused. I would suggest that we not approve motions that are clearly not appropriate under the rules or apparently not, and that we do take the informal route on this. His objective is to get a statement out there for us all to consider. This is not the forum right now, obviously, for this to be heard. I think it's entirely fair that he be allowed to speak so that all of us can hear it. But the appropriate forum, according to the rules, and if we struggle, I agree with Liz, you know, our rules grow like Topsy. A bunch of people show up at a convention and everybody has an opinion and they write a bunch of stuff down and you try to combine all that. The rules should be an ongoing process by a committee, and they should not be something that somebody just feels like bringing up every 2 years, and they should all be conformed, and they're not. So you can find many conflicts there, and we can find many gaps. That's why we default to Robert's rules, and that's why it's very important that we follow Robert's rules at this point. So again, I've been on both sides of this issue, but going back, I think if we as a body don't try to religiously follow the rules, we're in trouble. That doesn't mean that we can't go off the record, let Mr. Lanzon have his say for 3 minutes or whatever, and then go back and do this according to the rules. So that's,
Very well. Mr. Straight, and this will be, oh,
Point of information, it's not against the rules to make a motion and have the will of the body expressed.
very well.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
No need. You, I saw you stand. Mr. Straight, come forward.
The motion, there's a motion before the body.
We're about to vote.
And my position, my point of order is this, that motion is out of order. Until we take the specific action of a motion being made to suspend the rules, a second and a 2/3 vote, that motion is out of order. And I would ask that the chair recognize that. Otherwise, then I would make a motion that we overrule the ruling of the chair.
Well,
and we'll do that. So I would, once again, just ask, my first suggestion was to take a break and maybe get this quietly. So thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for those remarks, and thank you for everyone's remarks. Is there any other member that wants to speak to this motion that's on the floor, and then we are going to vote on this motion and handle it? No other comments. Excellent. We're voting, roll call vote, please, on this motion. Please clarify the motion and let's do away with this
Madam
motion.
Chair, point of order.
Yes, sir.
Maybe my voice is going. But I just said that this motion is out of order.
Well,
so, and I'm going to assume you're ruling it is not. I would move, this takes priority now, I would move that we suspend the rules and would ask for a second.
No second. The motion dies for lack of second. We will proceed with the roll call vote.
No, there is a second, Rex and Juno.
Very well, Rex. Very well. We have had a motion now. We've had a second to suspend the rules, I believe.
Yes. Madam Chair.
And so there. Yes, Mr. Seekins, I believe I recognize your voice. You have the floor.
Could I ask what the purpose of suspending the rules is?
Well, Steve will explain that again. Mr. Straight, would you explain to Mr. Seekins and the group why you want to have the rules suspended instead of just voting on this motion, to allow the gentleman 3 minutes?
Through the chair, Mr. Seekins and others on the SEC, this is outside the...
I'd like to withdraw my motion.
Alice, thank you very kindly for withdrawing your motion. We accept.
Now, I would like to suggest that we recess and allow Lanzon to have his say.
And Mr. Schulte,
I withdraw my second of the motion as well.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Mr. Schulte, as the second to Alice's motion, has also concurred. And now we are back to ground zero, so to speak. I appreciate. And we also have had a request for a recess. It is granted. We will take a 3-minute, I will do our best. Let's say 3 minutes Recess starting right now. It is 15 minutes past the hour of 10. We'll be back here in 3 minutes. And with the gentleman, everyone disperse either to the parking lot or wherever they want to enjoy this recess.
Madam Chair, were you going to offer Mr. Lanson the opportunity to speak to us during the recess?
I'd like to hear what you have to
That is
say now.
correct. That is
What's the
correct.
purpose of withdrawing my second?
I just saw Steve Straight go to the parking lot, so I thought we were all going to follow him out there.
Could you take a minute?
We're in recess. We're in recess. Okay, that comment was off the record.
We'll go
I'm
get
not afraid
every.
to speak.
We'll go get everybody back in here. You want to talk?
Mr. Lanson
I'll go get.
will be speaking, and
It's
we'll.
really disrespectful
Oh.
if people leave and they don't.
Mr. Lanson, could we start your 3 minute in about 30 seconds? Just give
I'll
us.
wait for him to come back in.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a problem.
I'll go let them know that if they want to hear your, just 30 seconds, and I'll be right back.
I'm sure, I'll,
Oh, Christy, she's out. Very well.
What Brian's doing is actually reading of the actual charges. I think that, I just wanted to go over it since this is the actual charges.
You've got 3 minutes. Everybody's already read what the charges were.
I'm going to address them first, just to clarify where your major mistakes are. I can do this. Let's see if I can shoot
You guys
down
are so cute. You guys like actually have great conversations. And it's like, you know.
It's educational. It certainly is.
Hey Daniel, are you going to get Daryl on focus with your camera there?
I'm actually was getting up to do that.
We'll start on the. We'll let you get.
Sorry, I couldn't get it on record in the SEC minutes, but
I understand their fear of having me on the record.
yeah.
We'll, for those of you online, we will know shortly whether the folks that stepped out are returning to hear this presentation, this 3 minute presentation. We should know shortly whether they're going to join us or not, but we will be proceeding very, very soon.
Mr. Goldberg, I appreciate those comments before.
You know, I don't know what the charges are against you, quite frankly. I haven't gone to the Caribbean.
What about you?
I want to hear what you've got to say.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
All right.
Am I on?
Although I think Frank was right, it's got to be handled at the district level first.
Well, Frank and I talked about that, and I'll tell you just a little bit about my district. My district, my executive committee was never completed.
Christy, can you tell them we're about to start in about 10 seconds? 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean,
It may end up back here, but the rules.
well, and then my district, my district.
Daryl, you know,
I just hope it works out that we can all get along.
we've spoken and I think had some pretty civil, cordial conversations, but
When you choose.
I've got a
All right, we're ready to roll here. We're ready to roll.
randomly.
Just because they're not in the room doesn't mean that Daryl should speak.
I am
And
not.
I want Daryl to speak right now.
Civil discourse, that doesn't work well.
So we're going to start now with the 3
I'll
minutes.
address it if you want.
And you guys can carry on after, in the, wherever. And so we're gonna have,
You are.
At a
hear from,
recess, Debbie, people can just chit-chat.
yeah, but I would like Daryl to
Well,
have his
listen,
3 minutes
here's
now.
Case in point.
Is that all right?
18, section 241, 242.
Very well.
We'll extend the
And Mark?
Video.
All right,
Okay.
Daniel, could you, if you would,
Daryl.
proceed,
Okay.
all right.
I'm going to start out with there are
Thank you.
3 levels of ignorance. There's innocence as a level of ignorance. There is delusion, which is the idea of non-ignorance, and then there's conscious ignorance. Okay? The first charge against me was that I was a party to a lawsuit on behalf of a candidate. I was proudly a patriot that stood up, not as a party to a lawsuit for any candidate, but I stood up as a party, as a plaintiff in a lawsuit for not only the Republican Party and their delegates, but the Democrat Party and their delegates, and the Libertarian Party and their delegates, and any other person in this country that decides that they want fair and just proceedings. And the suit wasn't a criminal suit. It didn't seek any damages from Mr. Rudrick, who is also a defendant, or the party. It was called injunctive relief. Injunctive relief is simply asking a question. It wasn't attacking the party. It put a judge. It had to sue the parties because we wanted to ask the judge to rule on whether federal law, off the top of my head, USC 1971 Section B, where it says very clearly that a person cannot be bound by any poll, period. You cannot bind delegates according to a poll and make them vote. And that's what I stood up for. The right for every delegate ever from now on to be